The FBI is now buying your personal private data online to know what you're doing at any given time without a proper and legal search warrant. Ofcom, a UK-based company, is now trying to fine 4chan once again for not complying with their age verification laws. 4chan responds with a giant hamster holding a peanut, which is very funny, by the way. Then you have Brazil trying to introduce their own age verification law that is now being enforced, and it's causing various companies to exit the region, like Rockstar Games, the creators of GTA, and also Linux 32, an operating system for PCs, is also exiting the region. And that doesn't just stop there. Also going on within Brazil with this age verification law, your ID and your face and everything to be able to verify if you're an adult or not is being pressed up against watch lists, terrorist organizations, and different other criminals around the world, basically saying just to access a Wikipedia page or a cooking recipe, your face is being put up against literally criminals. They're saying you're a criminal because you want to look up a cooking recipe, how to cook a chicken or something, which is absolutely insane. There's nothing more important I honestly could make a video on today than talking about this subject matter right here, because this is very bad. This is the very thing I've been talking about and warning people about for over a year now, what people have mocked me for, called me a doomer for, people saying that I'm full of shit, so to speak, to even talk about the subject matter, and that I'm doom posting for the sake of doom posting, but it's happening. It's getting worse, and I'm just going to say right now, it's really sad to see not many big content creators continuously talking about the subject matter. That is definitely escalating as time goes on, and so I ask you before I go any further into this video, please share this video, leave a comment on the video for the algorithm to help this video spread, and more people become aware of this entire situation, because it is very bad, and it is getting worse. So before we get any further into this, let's start off with what I began with this video, and the FBI buying your personal and private information. So, this is pretty much completely mask off. I mean, everybody knew this was happening and was going to happen, but you remember how governments around the world was constantly reassuring everyone that age verification and forced ID and face scanning technology was all about keeping children safe, keeping kids off the internet? Well, we all knew that was a load of bullshit, but this really just showcases that it was never about protecting kids. It was just about knowing what you're doing, how to monitor you at any given moment, what you're going to say, where you're at any given time. It's basically to bypass and get around legal systems and laws to be able to buy your data from these different third-party companies to know what you're doing. Basically, the FBI being able to buy this type of data and know your general location stuff without a proper legal search warrant is completely a misuse of the system and trying to completely bypass many different laws, for instance, like needing a proper search warrant to know what you're doing, which is very unethical. It is not good whatsoever, and what makes you think that this type of situation is not going to escalate and get much worse once age verification sweeps around the country, around the world at that, and I want to reinforce this once again. Obviously, this is in the United States happening right now with the FBI, but this, as I've said over and over again, this does not just stop with a certain country or state. This goes around the world. Look at what's happened to the UK, look what's happened to Europe, let's look at what happened to Australia, look what's happened to Brazil, for instance, now the United States, Canada. I think everybody gets the point. These laws are global. They're happening everywhere. Every government is pretty much jumping on board to be able to censor the internet, reel it in, and know what you're doing at any given time. It is horrifying. And this is not getting into data breaches and doxings and all sorts of other stuff alongside of that, not including the monitoring from the government trying to know what you're doing and protect you basically by censoring you, so to speak. But this right here is just a complete showcasing that it was never about protecting kids. It was literally about finding ways to be able to get your data a lot easier without having to go through court systems, legal search warrants, and just be able to know what you're doing to be able to censor you or silence you at any given moment. It's a complete invasion of privacy that is completely disrespectful to so many people and honestly disgusting. Because I would like to remind everybody, which is very relevant to the situation, which getting into Brazil, if you remember, Discord was going to be running your face and your like photo ID and everything alongside a watch list as well. And this was a global change that they were going to force out around the world. Like Discord was forcing in age verification, which by the way, they still are going to do later this year. They already admitted it. But the thing is that they were going to be putting your face up against watch lists. And this was going to be happening to United States citizens and everyone, which, once again, very disrespectful. It's clearly a lot more going on than just trying to protect kids. And this is now happening in Brazil, and I can't help but feel very bad for Brazilians, because even though I'm not living in their country, I know that this issue is widespread, and it's happening everywhere. And I feel like it is my duty to speak about this issue, because obviously I've been very vocal about censorship, age verification, and the Trojan horse to be able to basically stop freedom of expression and speech within art. And that's exactly what's happening in Brazil right now. It's very disrespectful, very sad, and seeing this type of situation where like even Rockstar games, like for instance GTA, is now being pulled out of the region, is just kind of a systematic effect of what is going to happen to various other countries around the world, and it's probably going to get a lot worse, which I think is a perfect segue to actually talk about Rockstar Games pulling out of Brazil and the Brazil age verification law. So this age verification law in Brazil, from what I can gather, is very invasive, and you basically just to access anything with the internet, you're going to need to verify yourself, which is the very dark, like, reality that many of us are facing around the world in different countries right now with various other laws that are in our systems of government. And Brazil is already experiencing this right now alongside of the UK that's been dealing with it, and also Australia. And this one is really sad because obviously you have GTA now backing out of the region, so people that want to, for instance, buy GTA when GTA 6 comes out is not going to be able to buy the game because Rockstar doesn't want to comply with age verification laws, which, by the way, based on Rockstar. Can I get a based in the comments, by the way? Based on them, because I think that wanting to not deal with age verification is definitely the great move from the company to do so, because Rockstar obviously is known for getting into a lot of heat and controversy over the years. I mean, when they were marketing their game very early on in the early 2000s, they were known for doing stuff that was very risque and things that would get them basically banned or normal games banned, but they did it anyways because the controversy brought them a lot of views and a lot of people to check out their game. And I feel like Rockstar has always been that company, from my personal perspective, to fight back against censorship and not allow stuff like that, because it would just go against their creative vision. So them backing out of Brazil like this, I think, is a very base thing, but it's also sad for Brazilians that have to suffer these consequences because of a government that doesn't really have their best interest in mind. They're more or less just wanting to know what you're doing at any given time, because that's exactly what these age verification laws are going to be doing. And this is also alongside of like an operating system like 32 Linux that is also backing out of the region, and I assume eventually a bunch of other different companies and stuff that are very massive are going to be doing the exact same thing in given time because of the new laws within Brazil. It's a very dark time, honestly, if you live in that country, and I can't help but feel bad, which is kind of interesting, by the way. A little tid note on this whole subject: a lot of people that have been mocking me for over a year, by the way, about censorship and saying I'm over-exaggerating or why am I anti-censorship, a lot of them actually were from Brazil. It's pretty interesting how that works out. Like, a lot of people that were mocking me and making fun of me for being, like, you know, anti-censorship are from Brazil that is now basically pro-censorship. Like, the government is pro-censorship. So, I wonder how they're feeling about that right now. I'm not saying I wish this upon the country or people in general, because I think it's wrong, but I do wonder how those people that were constantly mocking me for the last year talking about these subjects are feeling about now them needing to verify themselves alongside of, like, terrorist and watch list. Very curious discussion. Now, with that, I want to talk about Ofcom. So, Ofcom is very notorious and well known for basically trying to force Wikipedia to bow down, 4chan to bow down, trying to sue a bunch of different United States domains and websites and all that, trying to extend its authority and power over companies and countries that they're not even involved with, aka, like, for instance, the United States, which 4chan is a United States website, so technically Ofcom or UK has no business trying to sue them when 4chan is a United States website. So this entire situation is hilarious because they've already tried to do this, and basically they responded with lawyers saying, fuck you, we are United States, you know, business or a website, you're not allowed to do this, and that's basically what they said to the UK. And so we follow up a few months later, and they're trying to do the exact same thing to 4chan, and 4chan's pretty much response to the entire situation is, here's a peanut, here's a giant hamster, and I'm not gonna lie, the absolute trolling and memeing from 4chan is hilarious. I'm loving this type of stuff. It's funny, and I'm really glad, like, the shit posters of the internet and all that, the bowels of the internet, is not bow-downing to tyranny, so to speak. I really appreciate this. As much as, like, you know, people like to give 4chan a lot of shit and all that over the years, I respect them for not bowing down to censorship and age verification, because they easily could, but they're not. And, like I said, good on them. Very good. Based site, really respect them for this, and I'm glad just to see the response is just hilarious, but also directly to the point that they're just like, we don't care what you have to say, fine us all you want, we're not going to be paying it. But yeah, overall, I really do have to say that the slippery slope has gotten a lot worse, and the FBI now basically buying your data. It's going to get worse once age verification sweeps around the country. I mean, there's already states introducing this type of stuff. What makes you think they're not already doing that? And then when Discord, for example, introduces age verification later this year, like forces it through the door, because they said they are going to, the FBI is just going to buy that data too. So it's really bad. I don't like this type of stuff going on. It's a really bleak time period. A lot of censorship on art, freedom of expression, memes, and everything. And it's sad that there is not a lot of content creators talking about this. It is absolutely insane to me. Like, I'm one of the only few people that are continuously talking about this. And you have big content creators that have way bigger of a voice than me not even talking about this situation. So I'm going to ask you guys out of, like, I'm going to be honest, to share this information. Please leave a like on this video. Please share this video because it needs to be known. There is nothing more important I could talk about today than this subject matter right now. So please share this video. Please leave a like. Leave a comment for the algorithm. It does help out a lot. But love you guys. Chibi out.